Coming up today on the EMJ PGA Podcast, me and Ben finally review last weekend's Masters tournament where Rory McIlroy picked up back-to-back green jackets to make it 2 wins in 2 years at Augusta National. But where does our favourite Rory McIlroy hater, Ben Hartshorn, rank him amongst all-time greats? And on top of that, Ben manages to mispronounce Haotong Li's name about 70 times in the space of 2 minutes. But does he pick up the prestigious Flop of the Week award for his antics on the back nine on Sunday? Stay tuned in to find out. As always, this podcast does contain explicit language, but we hope you enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome back to the EMJ PGA Podcast. Apologies to all of you keen listeners who expected a fast, concise podcast off the back of the biggest week of the year when it comes to golf. We couldn't quite deliver it. We both had busy schedules this week and we couldn't quite deliver it, but we are here for you guys on Friday, ready to give our Masters review. Ben correctly mentioned and correctly pointed out that it feels like about a year ago that the Masters finished. For whatever reason, it feels like it's been a long week. Obviously, we'll bring Ben in just a moment. But for those of you who can remember the Masters that has just gone, we are here to review it. We are here to give our thoughts because there's a couple of buzz topics, as there always is, that me and Ben always like to give our 2 cents on. Speaking of the main man himself, who didn't quite make an appearance on Monday, as I said, I let him go. I let him sleep off the back of Sunday. I could tell it was a slog for him on Sunday night. The man was shattered. He is Ben Hartshorn, our esteemed co-host. Ben, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. We're back again. Buzzing to be back after a big weekend of golf, big weekend of lots of other things. So yeah, another great Masters, first major down, 3 more to go. So we're excited and yeah, looking forward to this review.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Just a couple of little things that we get out of the way. Obviously, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see my setting is a little bit different. I am at my desk at work because I have just finished work. I've just finished coaching people here at the driving range. So basically, if you hear people smashing balls into the roof just the other side of this building, I can only apologise. Hopefully, the microphone quality is all up to standard. Okay, let's get into the Masters because neither of us predicted him to win, which I feel bad about now looking back because he's kind of my guy that I never really bet on to win, which is, again, you tried to pull that fast one with Brooks this week, which was cracking me up. But he's my guy that I never bet on to win because I never really know when he's going to pop up. Again, it's a bit of a curse. Ben's got stung by him early on in the year, picking him, and then him ended up having, I think he got injured the week that Ben picked him or something like that. I can't remember, something happened. But Rory McIlroy goes back to back. He is the first person since Nick Faldo to win back-to-back Masters tournaments. One of only 4 people to ever do that. Rory McIlroy keeps establishing his position in one of the best players to ever play the game of golf. And if you guys are true hardcores of the EMJ PGA Podcast, when we did our live streams this time last year in our Masters preview, I said about him winning the Masters, he cements himself as an all-time great. Rory McIlroy is more than in that category right now. For me, Benjamin Hartshorn, he picks up another Masters. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the worst person who could have won for me, in my personal opinion, professionally on the EMJ podcast, like I can't disagree with anything you say. Like the guy's a walking victim, the guy's a walking ick. If you see him walking around, and yeah, like also I go to the gym, but yeah, I think he deserved to win it. I thought he was pretty good all week except for Saturday. Let's forget about he dropped a 6-shot lead, the biggest bottle in major history, but we'll allow it. And yeah, a fair play to Rory McIlroy. He has gone through hell and back, I think, in a professional sense at the top level of his sport. So you've got to give him the accolade. It's a shame no one else rolled up on Sunday, but winning sort of a one-man tournament was good for him. And yeah, fair play to him.
I definitely don't think it was a one-man tournament. There was a point on Sunday where I think he was 2 back, and I can't agree with that whatsoever. Obviously, I gave my initial thoughts just minutes after he picked up the win on my drive back home on Monday, and I kind of highlighted the point of that's kind of why you get out to such a heater on Thursday and Friday. You get yourself out to that lead. Okay, yes, he did throw it away, quote unquote, but you get out to that lead knowing that you can have a little bit of a breather. I'm sure you know yourself in your running races and whatnot. If you do have that bit of a lead, you can have a bit of a breather up there in the lead, and then as soon as you step back on the gas, you've got to expect the person who's just caught up to stick with you. And I feel like that in a golfing sense was kind of what we saw at the weekend. Where does he rank amongst the greatest to ever play, in your opinion? Where are you going to put him on the leaderboard?
In my short term of loving golf, he is sort of the number one player since the sort of the end of the Tiger reign, and it is annoying. It is annoying. He is from the UK, I suppose. He is probably he probably is sort of fourth or fifth, isn't he? All time great. I think he will get another major. I think now he can grind the fuck out of it like he couldn't used to before. I think he will pick up some more. Yeah, I think he's fifth. Who the
Yeah.
three in front of him are, I don't know. I mean, Nicholas, Tiger, Phil Mickelson's better. It's a little better great than him so far. So yeah, no, he's fifth or sixth. I think again, you're going to put Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, those guys in there probably. But yeah, I think by the end of his career, I think he will be in that top five, which is a fucking annoying. So yeah, no, he's probably top
That's what you put
six.
it. Yeah, top six. Yeah, so we're going Tiger, Nicholas, and then you'd be going
You're going Tiger,
all-time
Nicholas.
greats. I mean, this is the conversation. We we could have this debate all along, and it's the same in football, isn't it? Do you put Hogan in? Do you put because
Yeah.
were they the best to ever play? Like, I don't think I'm going out on a limb, and again, like, let's you could argue about technology all you want. Like, if Rory McIlroy and Ben Hogan had a scratch match, I don't think many people would turn up in today's era. Like, I think we'd be there 12
But
holes.
yeah, but
That's
if
that.
Yeah, but if Rory went back to Ben Hogan hitting a fucking wooden club, hitting like a poo stick around, like Ben Hogan would dick him down. So that's the thing, isn't it?
It is. I suppose it's a trade-off. So, do you know what? After slagging Ben Hogan, I'm going to put Ben Hogan ahead of him, and then you'd be looking at. Then you put. I mean, again, for me, like, he's coming in close. I know the major tallies are a little bit skewed, but I think I'd put player, and then it'll be a close conversation for me between Arnold Palmer and Rory McIlroy. Like, that's where we're at. And if you
Where's
want to put Palmer
Mickelson?
ahead, fine. If you want, I'd not put Mickelson ahead of McIlroy. There's no
But he's got more
chance. There's no
majors, isn't
chance.
he?
Give less of a fuck, lad. I couldn't give less of a fuck. He's a grand slam, and I think he's been better for longer consistently.
Mickelson was dominant for like 15 years. He spanned his majors.
You get dicked down by Tiger. You make Tiger. You bum buddy Tiger.
So would have anyone in history at that time. He still picks up three
No.
Masters.
I mean, so did Nick Faldo. I've not got him above McIlroy. I mean, he's quite close, but Nick Faldo's got three Masters. Like, as we said in the Masters preview, like, once
Yeah.
you've won round Augusta, I mean, again, Fred Couples was coming in saying Rory might never lose this thing again. I thought that was a cold little quote, and then for him to go on
Fucking
and win,
hell.
I thought it was absolutely awesome.
Fred Couples said that.
Fred Couples said that on Thursday that McIlroy might never lose the Masters again.
Fucking hell. Honestly, it's like, it's like, what outrageous fucking comment that is. What outrageous comment that is.
Lad,
Seriously,
he's been a
we
bit
taking that
facetious, but you
seriously.
get the point. Lad, he's all lot down. He's Dick Scheffler down, and he's tapped him up, and he's said, "See you later," and we're off with another green jacket.
I would
Like,
say you taking that comment seriously, like as, yeah, like that's like a serious
I'm
comment from Fred
saying,
Couples. Anyway,
Fred Couples Masters champion, better than you've done up at the Longmin fucking singles.
Fred
The
Couples
the
say Fred Couples coming in like he's won one Masters and then like been literally just made the cut every other one, and then he's like, oh, he might not McIlroy because he's won one might not win one again. Like he's contradicting himself literally.
No, he's not. He's not.
Anyway,
No, like, did you hear me? He said he might not ever lose one again.
yeah, no, yeah, but he's saying that McIlroy could win every single Masters to ever live from now on, to ever happen. Like when he's Fred
Well,
Couples'
if he
age, he's
plays
just going to
with Fred
win because he's
Couples,
won there before. Anyway, no,
No,
it's
look, my point is, right, in the Masters preview, we pointed out that if you won once round Augusta, you've got a pretty good feel for that golf course, and it never
mm,
changes that much. Okay? We had that storm roll through a couple of years ago. We had the COVID year, which was a bit different. Obviously, we played it in November, so it played a little bit differently. But the looks that you get on most of the holes, they're so iconic, they're never going to change. And once you know how to navigate that back nine on a Sunday, especially, usually you're pretty comfortable and you're more than likely to go on and try and win another. And a lot of those people in the butler's cabin and whatever in the champions dinner room have won multiple Masters tournaments. So coming into it, I've lost my train of thought when it comes to there you go. So likelihood is I reckon Rory can pick up another one of these, whether it's next year, the year before, that'll be his goal, won't it? 3 in the bounce. Um, the chances are that he can do that again. But the point being, when he stacks up, when he's won so many different varieties against Phil Mickelson, that's what we were saying. So many different
mm,
varieties of tournament. Phil Mickelson, close but no cigar in the US Open regard, gets stolen away from him famously by Justin Rose, who had a good week this week. Yeah, when McIlroy versus Phil Mickelson, McIlroy leaves a bigger legacy in the game than Phil Mickelson does. I mean, you know, and
mm.
I'll take McIlroy over Mickelson any day. And I feel like it's a battle now around that fifth, sixth mark, McIlroy for best to ever play, and that's going to be his motivation, isn't it? I mean, in the modern day, with how competitive golf is and how unbelievable it is at the top level, as I said, I don't want to slag the old generation of golf off, but it was a big three in Nicholas Palmer and Players era where they were just doing a massive roulette for who was going to win the
The,
major that week,
but
and a
like
lot of the time is who could actually get the plane across the country to actually go and play the fucking thing.
devil's advocate. I mean, there's no different nowadays. Like Scheffler has won a majority of the last 20 majors. How many majors he won out of five? No, two, five, four, five. I mean, McIlroy's won two of them. I mean, it sort of is turned into like a 2 or 3 man horse race at the moment in the last few years, I feel like.
Yeah, I understand, and there probably was a little bit less of a bias than I'm making out, but still, I do feel
Mm,
like it's harder to win a major now than it probably was back then. You know, you only like I love the guy the quote from you, Guy Brooks, in terms of like how he dissects how to win a major, and he basically says half the field are going to cap themselves, the other half of the field that do make the cut aren't going to play well enough to win. Then it leaves you like 15, 20 who are like good enough. That half of those 15 don't have experience, so they'll crumble away last minute, and then you're really left with 6, 7, 8 players that are really going to be
yeah.
worth beating towards the end. And I actually quite love that way of thinking now. Okay, you could look at it like that every single time, but you've got JJ Spawns popping up, and don't get me wrong, there would have been the odd major winner back in the day, but you know, for me, McIlroy, his status in the game, he's the best he's the greatest European player to ever play off the back of this Masters win now, in my opinion, as I said, for the reasons that I just stated. I haven't put any European above him in the rankings when it comes to greatest ever. And it's unbelievable achievement for Rory McIlroy. And as I said, I know you're a resident McIlroy hater, but he is the most talented player that we've seen since Tiger, in my opinion. And like I said on the way back home the other day, every time Scheffler picks up an achievement in the game, and we all start going, "Oh my God, this is the best we've seen since Tiger," I was always sat there thinking, "I know Rory can do that. Rory is more than talented enough to do that." Just when we get over these mental boundaries, which I think you say about all his personality flaws, I think that makes him relatable. The fact that he has sometimes these mental blocks in big moments, and he's had to overcome difficulty and whatnot. So I am a McIlroy fan off of that. And as I said, it's fantastic to see him pick up the green jacket for the second time. I was doing the shopping the other day, thinking to myself, oh my goodness, the years where we turn up waiting for McIlroy to at least be in contention, and I thought, oh my God, this would just never going to happen. We're never going to see a Masters from McIlroy, and you get two in 2 years. So absolutely fantastic. Rory McIlroy picks up the Masters. Leave it in the comments if you're listening to this. Where do you put McIlroy all time now? Because we haven't put an official number on it, but I'm probably going with sixth all time. I think Ben was around similar, even though he hates him. Sixth all time for Rory McIlroy, and I think that that's more than fair enough. We'll come on to some contenders because we just touched on him a moment ago. Scotty Scheffler was a quarter of the width of a Titleist Pro V1 2026 spec on 17 from getting potentially into a playoff with Rory McIlroy. The fact that he got up there on the heater so hard on the last day, and it wasn't ridiculous heater, but it was more players falling back and him on the ascension that made him look like he was on the heater a little bit. final round 68. And again, what could have been, he could have hit a better approach into 18 as well. The pin's notoriously on that bottom tier on 18. You've just got to fly it past the flag and let the slope do the work. And he hit a really, for his standards, poor approach into 18. As I said, he missed by such small margins on 17, almost for Scheffler. Remarkably, what do you make of his performance?
Yeah, good. He just shot himself in the foot. What day was it? Friday. He shot himself in the
Yeah.
foot. He shot 74 on Friday, which really put him back. And then again, he goes so deep in the weekends. Like a lot of us do go deep on the weekend. But I think, yeah, his final round heater wasn't a heater, but I thought it was a heater enough in the sense he didn't drop a shot. 4 birdies, a load of pars. He sort of was like early heater, sort of made everyone shit themselves on the leaderboard, and then sort of just couldn't quite hold anything. But I thought he might do enough for McIlroy to come back to him to get back to 10 out, 10 under or 11. And I just think Scheffler not birdieing 13 was big. Didn't birdie 14 or 17 or 18. He needed one more. And I don't think Scheffler, I don't think Scheffler deserved to win that Masters. To come second again, I think to come second, I think was more of a hindrance on everyone else really not going that great on the final day. But Scheffler again coming second at the Masters, he is a force of nature, but not playing that well really. And especially on Thursday and Fridays, he's not playing very well.
Yeah, we're not going to focus on too many names, as I said. It's not going to be the longest review here today. We've spent a good bit of time talking about McIlroy. The names that we're going to talk about here probably reflect more of what you're speaking about in regards to maybe not taking their opportunity as much as some other players. You talk about Russell Henley, you talk about Tyrrell Hatton, who made a last-minute charge to finish high on the leaderboard. We're talking more about the heavy hitters going into Sunday here in today's podcast. And yeah, I think you're probably right, actually. I mean, if Scheffler had come away from that having won the Masters, I would have been gutted because as I said, it wasn't dominant. And yes, you can win a golf tournament so many different ways. There's not a scripture on how to win one, but it does feel like Scheffler, when he wins at a canter. It's not really like a close, one where he's had to battle it out or duel anyone. You famously have the Stenson versus Mickelson duel at Troon in 2016 for the Open. We've had many at the Masters through the years, especially in the 20th century. A lot of duels, and Scheffler never really seems to come up chance. He just seems to absolutely strokes gain tee to green everyone into submission, and when that isn't quite firing on all cylinders, his putter isn't really going to get him out of his jail as much as it improved over the last year or so. So yeah, I actually massively agree with that assessment. I feel like everyone's sort of misfiring and feeling the pressure, and him being a couple of groups back just helped him surge into a position. But that being said, as I said, that's that putt on 17. We were sat there watching with bated breath. As tired as we were, we knew if that had gone in, that would have been a massive problem. He would have come off a birdie on 15, 16, and then 17. That would have been a serious heater for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
And like I said, even the birdie on 15 is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's in the trees. He's knocking it out from, again, he's hitting the tree every 2 seconds, and he's still finding a way to birdie it when Hao Tong Lee was literally in Jurassic Park over there on the left-hand side. It's absolutely unbelievable from Scotty Scheffler. So he can take a lot of positives. He's going to be a name to watch out for, obviously, this week when the golf's on as we're recording this. Again, he might have even, he'll be out on the golf course as we are recording this, but he's going to be a name to watch out for because he's in form and he's finding things. Past winner at the Heritage, we'll come on to that a little bit later, just touch on it. But if you fancy a bet, just bet on Scheffler. I reckon we see a win in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Or less for Scotty Scheffler. Fantastic performance again. Coming on to another name who I'm sure all of you listeners from a British point of view were looking at this guy, and definitely for me, if McIlroy wasn't to pick up the one, it was this guy. I would not have had any qualms with Justin Rose picking up the green jacket. Couldn't get it done. I mean, Amen Corner bit him in the arse big time on Sunday. He just ran out of steam. And what's interesting, he ran out of steam just as quickly as he sort of had a full head of steam. He made a big putt on 10. And that was to go 2 clear, if I'm mistaken. It might have only been 1 clear, but I think in my head it was quite a big gap. I think he might have even gone 2 clear at one point. At least 2 clear of McIlroy. And then he makes bogey on 11. And then he makes bogey on 12. He duffed the chip. And then obviously the mishap on 13 on the green after playing the hole really, really well. Justin Rose, he just couldn't quite get it done.
No, Justin Rose, shame for him. You wonder how many chances he's going to get. And he's got an unbelievable drive and a mentality going into these majors, into the Masters. I mean, Masters is the one he wants. You can just tell it on his face. The frustration he was showing on that back nine was almost heart wrenching a little bit. Yeah, a heater from 5 to 9. And we like to sort of acknowledge the heaters. Got himself, I think about 2 shots clear into 9. Par 10. I think you were thinking about 9 when he made a birdie. Par 10, and then hit 11 and 12, and went so far right on 11. Couldn't get up and down. Still played a very solid chip, but took the bogey, which you can do. 11's a fucking tough hole, and then 12, a duff chip that we can all do. Even the best in the world can do. A duff chip that many of us amateurs out there know the feeling of, hitting it 3 yards in front of you. So, and after that, he had to go on 15. He made the birdie, but then a bogey on 17 killed him. And really gutting to see. He had a proper go. And again, but I think the course came on top of him a little bit at the end. And you know what? The course beat him on the back nine, pushing that hard. The course bit back. Amen Corner bit him hard. And the wait goes on for Justin Rose. But he has won a major. He's won a US Open. He's one of the Europe's best ever players. So I don't think he's going to go away from his career if he doesn't win a Masters. Too disappointed, I don't think. But yeah, unlucky for Justin Rose.
It just feels like not just the Masters, but then the Open a couple of years ago at Troon, where he made a real run at it. And don't get me wrong, he wasn't in the form of his life back then, but it just feels like it. If you're, and this is the thing, it's not like football where, let's just say, you go into 6 cup finals and you expect to maybe come out on top in 3 of them. Golf's not like that, because you're playing against, when the cup's done, probably 60 other players, and even more than that than are probably in contention. But when you put yourself in contention, it just feels like Justin Rose has come out abnormally short on a lot of the times he's put himself in contention. Like, obviously, second at the Masters in so many gutting ways. Okay, he wasn't ridiculously close to the opening Troon, but at one point you thought, oh my goodness, here he is, he's going to do it. And then similarly to this week, he kind of faded away on the back nine on Sunday. It just feels like it's difficult, because you can look back on a fantastic career, the US Open, which famously, we need to get the US Open. This is one of our big campaigns that we're going to do. Get the US Open back to Merion. Why is it not on the schedule? Let's get it back to Merion, because that's where he famously picked up his US Open, with the baskets as pins. I always remember Lee Westwood just pinging a shot off one of them baskets. I've never seen anything like it. Obviously, they're made out of, I don't know, copper, metal, whatever. It's literally pinged back to his feet from about 90 yards away. I've never seen anything like it. But let's get the US Open back to Merion. Anyway, that's me going off on a tangent. He has picked up a US Open, and he's been a part of so many unbelievable Ryder Cup teams. Probably the heartbeat of a lot of those teams. Obviously, I'm a massive McIlroy guy, but he's probably been the heartbeat of a lot of them teams. Famously, he could have took the deal to go to Liv again when Liv first came out, and that's probably a note that we'll just include at the end when it comes to Liv. I'm sure you guys are probably interested in that. But when Liv first came out as an entity, Justin Rose was kind of falling off the cliff when it came to his form, and he would have been the exact sort of player that I would have looked at my phone and gone, Justin Rose has gone to Liv, and I probably would have thought nothing of it. But he didn't. He stuck it out, and just look at the rewards he's got. And I just wish he can maybe pick up maybe one more major, and that's why I wanted to ask, do you reckon he's got another major in it?
I think he should, like, in McIlroy did an interview, didn't he, recently, looking at Justin Rose and saying, this is what I want to be when I'm in 14, 15 years time, when he's Justin Rose age. But I think it could be vice versa. Like, McIlroy for 12 years really struggled to put it together on a back nine Sunday, in so many contentions. And I think Rose needs to just keep doing it. And I think it'll fall like McIlroy this week, where it's almost just fallen for McIlroy. It really has. It almost just flowed to the win this week without really worrying about it too much. And I think that will happen. And I think Rose will get that chance again, and it'll be a maiden major victory. Let's hope it's an Open or a Masters. And it'll be a big week. And I think his career will then be sort of ticked off. I mean, again, a great English golfer, and he'll be up there with your Faldos and that sort of people in that sort of bracket. So, yeah, I think he'll come for Rose. I think he's got to not try and force it as much. I thought he was really almost wanting it too much a little bit. You've got to be more nonchalant than that a little bit, I feel like. And Rose isn't nonchalant at all. But, yeah, a hell of a bloke as well.
Yeah, he is. And that shot on 7, I want to say, up the hill out of the trees on the right on 7, it's one of the shots he had on Sunday. That's absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? We were looking at each other like, what the hell? What the hell is going on there? So Justin Rose, what a man. And fingers crossed he can get it done. I mean, I might put him in one of my picks to finish the year. Where are we at Birkdale this year when it comes to the Open? That's famously where he started his career, 1998. Fun story. I think I've told you this, but I hope he's listening to this. But I'm pretty sure my uncle said he was holding the scoreboard for Justin Rose when he holed out at Birkdale in 1998.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's
kind of a weird story, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the correct story. I might be wrong on that, but I'm 99%
Yeah.
sure of it. So hopefully Justin Rose can pick up a win at Birkdale, where he's had many a happy memory before.
Yeah.
Last little person that we're going to talk about, because he was the main challenger to McIlroy. I mean, again, it's always easy to jump the gun. So when McIlroy had a disappointing Saturday, I came away from it a bit deflated. I was a bit like, fuck's sake. I mean, are we really going to do this after I've give him the big one on Friday night, and I've given him this big one? He's lost his 6-shot lead. And I'm always quick, and I'm probably too quick to react to stuff. So similarly, on Sunday, McIlroy and Young are going head-to-head. They're kind of having a match play style situation. Players like your Lowrys, your Haotong Lees, they're falling away. Sam Burns isn't making a fantastic start. And you're thinking, okay, it's just going to be a straight match play between McIlroy and Young for the title. And then I'm thinking, Christ, I've seen Cam Young at the Ryder Cup. I've seen him on American soil. This guy's going to be tough to beat. Shit. And then all of a sudden, he misses a bogey putt on 6 after holding a massive par putt on 5, and he just never didn't hit him again. I mean, he just didn't do anything, Cam Young. Dropping shots, like not one shot where we thought, oh my God, not even the strokes of luck that he was getting on Saturday were happening. Weird from Cam Young, because he kind of started poorly, got on a massive heater from midway through Thursday through to Sunday, really, and even 6 holes into Sunday, and then just decided to just have a really poor, below par final 12 holes of the tournament. What's your reaction to Cam Young?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'd like to see Cam Young win because he's not like cringy. So many people at work who don't know about golf was like, oh, they don't mind Cameron Young winning because he's not like a cringy American. He's not that out there. And I sort of agree with you. He is boring. And I see you were talking about his interview the other day where like, what do you do in your spare time, Cam Young? Like, I spend time with my family and that was it. So fair enough, he's a golfer on tour, but like I don't think he's got that much going for him, except for he is an unbelievable golfer with an unbelievable golf swing. And again, started the round well with an early birdie. But again, you're right. From 6, he made 3 bogeys in 4 holes, and then decided to do like a let's par every hole on the back 9 challenge, and did that to aplomb. And yeah, I can't remember what he did in the back 9, if he was really close to anything. Not really. Hit a good shot into 12, I remember, but not to birdie 13 and 15 on a back 9 on a Sunday. I basically shat himself, I would say. But his putter went cold, to be fair, as well, which is which we all know the feeling. And so yeah, but I mean, a good finish for Cam Young. He will win some majors. He is too good not to win a major. I mean, I'd be surprised he doesn't turn up at the PGA or the US Open and is hot again. He's a US Open player as well. I can see him winning one of them. So yeah, unlucky for Cam Young, but yeah, cold on Sunday. That's what he was on.
We need to do a battle of we need to do like a top trumps card, create EMJ PGA Tour Pro top trumps, and like at the top of like nonchalance for like Americans, there's Cam Young, and on the top of nonchalance for Europeans, you've got Ludwig Aberg, Brazy Aberg. And what we need to do is hit them off against each other and make predictions of who, the most nonchalant player from America versus the most nonchalant player from Europe, and just count, because you just know that Cam Young's going to be the first to win a major out of them two.
Absolutely,
like, you just know it. And we've seen the story a million times before, and you're always quite hot onto this when it comes to majors and these Americans, and you always love like rimming their arse, for lack of a better phrase. Just saying about how they get over the line in majors and whatnot. And Cam Young will do that, and I will join you in the rimming. It's just when you get on board with like the Chapelets and the Burns of the world and fucking DB straight vibing and Battier, that I can't really get on board with them dons. But Cam Young is a player that I've got absolutely no problem with winning majors. Obviously, I didn't want him to win at the weekend because it would have meant getting the better of McIlroy or Rose, but yeah, just didn't go. And you're perfectly correct in terms of par every hole in the back 9, because it just did feel like, what's Cam Young doing? Oh, he's got 30 foot for par, okay, 30 foot for birdie, okay. You know, every time, and even on the par 5s, it was kind of a bit weird. But yeah, Cam Young, you just said about his majors. Yeah, so do you reckon in a nonchalance bracket he's the best nonchalant player in the world?
Yeah, I don't think like Aber wakes up every morning and just like sets out his day. Like how nonchalant am I going to be? Like how am I going to bring nonchalantness into my daily activities? Where like Cam Young doesn't know he's nonchalant. He's just like living his quite boring life. Where he was born, his dad gave him a golf club, and all he's done since then every day is just be on the range and hit golf balls. And probably like never slept with anyone, like virgin till he met his wife, like all those sorts of like real things. And and that's why we've got a lot of respect for people like Tiger. Obviously, he did like discover the world, even to his hindrance. But yeah, anyway,
Discovered more than the world.
he discovered a lot
Yeah.
inside. Yeah, he saw different bits of the world that we'll never see inside of people. But Cam Young, I'm gonna say already. I reckon Cam Young wins the U.S. Open, but. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, Cam Young, boring as fuck. Does he think he's nonchalant? No. But he is the most nonchalant US player by a freaking mile. When you got people like Russell, I mean, Brooks Koepka's nonchalant, but he's sort of like the new Brooks Koepka of nonchalantness. Till Brooks wins something again, I'm not going to consider him, even though I'm going to pick him for the PGA.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So those of you looking forward to seeing who we pick for the PGA,
Yeah.
you know where Ben Hartson's going. Not a bad week for Brooks. I'm not going to touch on him too
No.
much, but not a bad week for Brooks. So better than I expected after a fat MC the week before, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking of MCs, Russell Henley, it's genuinely personal because literally I picked you and then you've decided to have a really good week at the Masters. So
Yeah.
you can fuck off. I'm not picking you. And that there is our review of the runners and riders when it comes to Sunday at the Masters, where Rory McIlroy famously picked up his second ever Masters victory. For those of you just getting into golf, you are witnessing history before our very eyes because this is the flagship, the flag bearer when it comes to golf of our generation. So congratulations to Rory McIlroy. Okay then. We are not going to spend too much time for the rest of the podcast diverging into too many different subjects. But for those of you wondering, we haven't forgot. We, of course, need to give out our prestigious awards, and the first of which is, of course, Heater of the Week.
Heater of the week. I
Heater of
wonder who
the
you're going to
Week.
give
Right, I'm
this
going to count
to.
myself back
Fucking
in.
hell.
I'm so keen for this. Heater of the week.
Heater of the Week.
Heater of the week.
Heater of the Week.
Around 260.
He's kind of on a heater.
A 9 under par Sunday round 63.
One of my greatest heaters.
4 birdies in a row, 12 through 15, and then another one on 17 to seal the deal. He's bogey free, 63.
In terms of the heat of the heater, 62, 10 under par.
You are my heater of the week for this week.
Lad, right, that can be our intro back in because Ben's calling my bluff.
Oh.
Jesus. We are back. Heater of the Week, special edition Heater of the Week. Who am I going to give it to? No. I am going to give some honourable mentions first, and I am going to say that Cameron Young for his Saturday 65 to get himself in a tie for the lead. Whilst he's my first honourable mention because everything seemed to go his way. I mean, he snap hooked into the trees on 13, came straight back into the fairway, pushed one into the trees on 17, came back into the fairway, ML the green on 9, came back into the middle tier. So it was a 7 under bracket, 3 under, because if that had happened to me, that wouldn't have happened. So just out of spite, I'm not going to give it to Cam Young. Scotty Scheffler also had a 65 on Saturday that put him in the mixer. Bogey free 65, 5 birdies, 1 eagle. Bit naughty from Scotty. And Tyrrell Hatton had 2 66s. We haven't spoke much about Tyrrell Hatton. He was out a bit earlier in the day. His Saturday round let him down. If he'd have been a bit better on Saturday, Tyrrell Hatton would have been right in the mixer as well. So he will probably look back at that Saturday round and think, damn it. But he did play very, very good golf on Friday and Sunday. So congratulations to him. But Ben has called my bluff. I mean, Ben knows what's happening here, and he knows what the heater is, and he appreciates the heater. And if you appreciate the heater, there's only one winner this week. I hate to do winner and heater combination, but we have to, because on Friday, Rory McIlroy decided, you know what? I'm just gonna get red fucking hot. Not just hot, I'm gonna get red fucking hot. And decide to birdie 6 out of the last 7, including the last 4 on the bounce to take a 6-shot lead into Saturday. Yes, What he did with it on Saturday is by the by. Okay, the hole out on 17, which I think was one of the most important shots of the week. And just overall the way that he played, I mean, he stuck one to inches on 16. He played 15, obviously really well. Hit a good pitch shot into 15, and then even the approach on 18 as well. That was a bit of a, it's not a typical pin there on 18, cut over on the right hand side. So for him to hit it in there, 17, as I said, 17, he pitched it in. But there was so much good golf in there from Rory McIlroy. And ultimately, I feel like it's that stretch of holes that does win him the golf tournament, because he wasn't special on Sunday. If you look at his scorecard, it wasn't ridiculous. And it meant that everyone else had to play catch up and play unbelievable golf from here on out. So congratulations, Rory McIlroy. You are my heater of the week, and I think deservedly so as well. When it comes to flop of the week, I mean, contender for flop of the week every single time is who I pick to win the golf tournament of late. So fantastic. Ben, take away flop of the week and sing your praises, because you did call this on Sunday, last week even, sorry. And just feel free to say what you have to say. Say your piece, my man.
So Euan has just given away who flop of the week is, but as we did a prediction for it, I got it absolutely bang on. In spite, in contradiction of Euan's pick for the week was Bryson DeChambeau. I picked him to be flop of the week, and obviously whatever's happened. Honourable mentions before I go in on DeChambeau. Legend of the week, if I had to pick legend of the week, would be Hang Tong Lee. Unbelievable week heading in. He decided to shoot an 8 over 80 on Sunday with, again, hit the back nine, probably not still in it, but still there for maybe a top 5, and then went 6, a triple on 12, and then a 10 on 13. And if you, again, and I spoke earlier about Scheffler making his 5 on 13, it's probably because they took an hour on that hole, because Hang Tong hit, I think he hit 2 off the tee, 1 went so far left of the stream, whatever the fucking stream's called, and he found it. Hang Tong found it, hit out the bushes, and then seemed to hit another 6 or 7 shots after that. I haven't seen them all, because again, 10 shots is a lot to watch. He then again bounced back Merchant with a birdie on 14, but then really didn't do anything coming in. But he laughed about it, so we're happy with that. Hang Tong, unlucky, but that's a proper stinky final round you had there. Being in the top 5 going in, end up finishing 38th. Let's put that in there. Other stinkers, again, the UK crowd don't particularly like this man. Patrick Reed shot 1 over the final day to really stink the gaff out. Sam Burns had a stinky day. Who else had a really stinky day? I was just looking at before. I was looking at. Cantley had a terrible day. Ryan Gerard had a terrible day. Ben Griffin was sniffing about, had a terrible day. But obviously, the flop of the week, I don't mean to go on, was one man and one man only. Again, up there with the talk heading in. He had the headlines. Again, won back-to-back live events. But Bryson DeChambeau decided to do what DeChambeau can do. He either is in the top 3 or he's missing the cut. And started his week terribly. Absolutely terribly. Sorry, let me go to his round. He started the week again with a bogey on 2. How do you bogey that par 5 second? I have no idea. And he went to 11 and decided to take 3 out of the bunker. Probably the most famous clip from the week was DeChambeau out that bunker. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen someone chop it out of a bunker more. There's only one bunker up at Church Street, and I promise you wouldn't see me chopping it like that from the sort of angles he was trying to create up there in that one bunker at Stretton. And then, even then, he sort of rallied into his second round on Friday. If you were there watching, he made some birdies. He gave himself a chance. 4 over was the cut line, and decides to go up the final hole and make a 7 to miss the cut. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Again, a clip to just summarise his week is him hitting I think it's 18 on Thursday, it might be 18 on Friday. Hitting it out the bunker, probably like a pitching wedge from 190, and then complaining how far left it's gone, and doesn't know why it's happening. So again, if you were watching our live streams 12 months ago, and we spoke about DeChambeau's final day, how hard he was hitting it left. I mean, he just went into the week hitting it like that, trying to hit the ball too far and hard. Euan might give you the mechanics on why that's happening, but my God, that is embarrassing for Bryson DeChambeau. So yeah, Bryson DeChambeau flop of the week, and the most deserved flop of the week, I think, of the year. So yeah, I mean, after last week, obviously Barrett winning flop of the week, we moved to Bryson DeChambeau this week.
Yeah, they both begin with B, so well done to both of
Yeah.
them lads. Yeah, no, Bryson. I just thought he was playing well coming into it, and technically he was. But I'm never giving any merit to Live Golf again. I actually thought there was a moment. John Rahm had a poor week, and granted, these lads can have an off week. Obviously, you've got Brandel Chambly going in on Live and whatnot. Midway through the tournament, which I thought was fair. Obviously, you had Tyrrell Hatton finished third eventually, who was the leading contender from those guys. But you know, it's disappointing that those are your main guys. And yeah, you talk about mechanics. Obviously, Bryson. The whole point of Bryson's golf swing is to not hit the ball to the left. That is the point of pretty much everything that he does from a niche and from a unique point of view when it comes to even the setup of his golf bag to his grip size, everything. And I don't know whether the design and the fact that, yes, someone who shapes the ball from right to left does typically get on a bit better than someone of late, or not of late. Sorry, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Generally speaking, yes, there's exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, you'd like to see someone who shapes the ball from right to left. Cam Young, Rory McIlroy being features. Russell Henley. I just thought, even though he likes to hit it left and he wants to not hit it left, the fact that he can hit it a bit left would suit his eye a little bit. But actually, it's the complete fucking opposite, because he spends that much time trying not to hit it left, and I feel like when he reverts back to basics, he's got no control of the golf ball. So even though, and like we said last year, when he made a run at it last year, what was all of his scoring? It was long putts across the green, it was chipping in, it was doing all this mad stuff where he'd probably airmailed the greens long and left anyway. There was one hole, I think it was a putt or either a chip from off the green, where he was way off the bat. It might have been on 9 from what I can remember last year. He holed out and he was miles long left of the green. So yeah, even though it suits up well to the side of the golf course, he doesn't like to hit it. When he does do that, he's got no control of it, and that's clear and obvious from what he did at the weekend. Absolute joke. And again, I'm never picking him again. I don't even like DeChambeau, and that's what's fuming about it. I don't really like him, and there I am picking him, and then he drops an MC on me. And not only an MC, as I said, you can make the cut and then make yourself semi-respectable with a couple of good rounds, and he decides to make a triple up the last. Unbelievable. Yeah, and well done covering other flop of the weeks, because there were some interesting ones, and there always is at the Masters as well. That's what we love about the Masters and these big events. But there always are some storylines where you come away thinking, Jesus Christ, what the hell's happened there? Just whilst we're on it, Live Golf is rumoured to be going bust. I think put to rest by the executives and people, but New York Times and stuff reporting on it, and very, very big outlets. And obviously, I'm a bit more in tune when it comes to American media. But if the New York Times reports it, that means there's legs to it. So whether it's imminent or not, Live Golf seemingly on its last legs. Ben, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I haven't really looked up much about it. I've seen the headlines. Um, big news in a big week of golf. We just had the biggest week of golf. This could be massive, could be huge. I don't know what's happening with it's the PIF, isn't it? It's the Public Investment Fund in Saudi Arabia. Are they pulling out of Live, and do they not see a future for Live? As Bryson DeChambeau come back and said, I want to get back on tour. All those little things. I will I will comment now and maybe read up a bit more about it for next week.
Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit more as we go. I can't say it will come as a big surprise to us guys. Yeah, it was only a matter of time really, because it doesn't seem like there's much. I mean, it's weird because South Africa was a record attendance or something like that when they were there a couple of weeks ago. At the same time, it just doesn't feel like again, a lot of the revenue that you generate is through viewership, and it feels like nobody watches Live Golf. That's my consensus. Unless you're under 15 years old, it doesn't feel like many people pay attention to it. That is just my 2 cents on the matter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And to sign the podcast off, obviously, those of you who are paying attention to our social media have seen that we put our picks for the Heritage up. It was a little bit it was quick because I messaged Ben for his pick, and he picked Jake Knapp, which is exactly who I was going to pick, and that is me, not just bandwagoning on someone who's been way better at picking than me. But we both think Jake Knapp's going to get it done at the Heritage. But obviously, it's well documented my thoughts on Harbour Town. I think if you've got a spare few minutes, especially on Sunday evening, give this week a watch, because it is just one of my favourite golf courses to watch. Even the last few holes, they're just absolutely gorgeous. Some of the par threes. It's been recently redesigned by Davis Love III. A couple of new additions, a couple of little pot bunkers in there, which I've seen on social media this week. Just makes it look even better. There's nothing that anyone can say to make me not want to go and play that golf course. Probably maybe as much as any other golf course on the planet. But we both think Jake Knapp's going to win. Ben, you looking forward to the Heritage this week?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but like, have you seen who's leading early on at the Heritage? I did have a look a minute ago.
No, break the news. Break the news.
Again, he's done this every tournament this year, but nonchalant Aberg is leading 8 under after his first round. So he will not be winning this week.
Well, when the conclusion of events comes, and you guys will be listening to this on Friday, when the conclusion of events comes, you will be able to see if that statement from Ben Hartson is correct. I can't help but agree with you. It will be interesting to see if Ludwig can get the job done. But Breezy Aberg, nonchalant Aberg, is currently in the lead as we record this.
Yeah.
So very well done to him for a good round one. Okay, then we are going to wrap it up there. Ben, any final thoughts after Masters Week?
No, disappointed it's over. It gets the golf season started for everyone out there. So go out, get the golf going, and tell us about it. And we'll be hitting up with the PGA very, very soon, which will be good. With heading to Ronming, if that's how you say it, and then on to obviously Shinnecock Hills and Birkdale after that. So yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, quite a good major lineup, isn't it? And that's the good thing. I was sat there, I think, on Sunday night or on Saturday night, a little bit depressed because I was thinking, fucking hell, here we are. The Masters are already going to be been and gone. I've looked forward to it for so long, and here it's just about to finish in about an hour or so. And then I was thinking, hang on, just slapping myself in the face, thinking, come on, let's lock back in and let's get back on these majors because we've got plenty of them coming up, including the Heritage this weekend, because I've not got commission big in the tournament, but the Heritage, come on, let's enjoy the Heritage. Right then, thank you very much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed our Masters review. There'll be more interactive content coming your way over the next few months, especially when the Open rolls around in July. Me and Ben will be on it like a car bonnet, ready to bring you some coverage. We're looking forward to that. Major season is off and running. We are back. EMJ PGA Podcast signing off. We will catch you next week for the review of the Heritage. See you then.